Hey there. Today I'm going to talk about dealing with space on your iPhone, primarily running out of space on your iPhone. If you take a whole lot of photos like I do and edit a lot of photos, and you have a 32 gig, it's important to know where your space is going every now and then because you can run short. I'll now walk you through. First thing, of course, you'll need to do is know how much space you actually have available. So if you go to your iPhone and click Settings, you can then click on General and Usage. And what that'll show you at the very top is storage space, how much you have available, and how much is currently used. And it can take a minute or so here, and it'll then show you all your apps and how much space they're using. And the first thing you'll notice here is PhotoForge 2 is using 2.3 gig of space on my iPhone. And what you'll see here is that the app size is 31 meg, but documents and data are 2.3 gig. So the app is very small, but the documents and data are very large. This other app, USA, I showed you, had almost no documents and data. It was all app size. It's a map of the United States. But so you can see almost all my big ones are photograph apps, photograph and movie. And the other thing we have here is iCloud storage. Not everybody uses this service, but I do. You get 5 gig free, but I have a slightly bigger plan. And what you'll see here is a lot of documents and data, but you also have your individual devices. In this case, I have my iPhone 5 and my iPad 3. And just as before, you can click on that and see what's taking up all the space. And once again, you can see the PhotoForge here is taking up 2.3 gig. Not every app will store its data here, so this is a little more advanced as far as what goes up here, but you can see what was up there, and I'll talk about that again in a little while. So now what to do about this problem of having all these apps. So let me jump over to PhotoForge and show you where all this space came from. I have maybe 20, 25 photos in here, somewhere in that ballpark. And you can see I got lots around here. But what you don't always see, you say, oh, that's not so big. But what you do have here is, for some of these movies or photos, they take up a lot of versions. Here you can see every change I've made to this one, and it saved a new version. And so this one photo is the equivalent of 20 or 30 photos right in there. And so that's where all this space is coming up. So one thing I could do back under the settings when I was looking at usage, I could have deleted the app entirely here. And in this case, I would lose all the photos and the app right away. Instead, you could go open the app and delete every single photo individually, after, of course, exporting every photo, which I did ahead of time to make sure I had them all. So here, I zipped through this and sped it up a little bit, but eventually I cleared everything out, and then I jumped back into the settings to see how much space I had. And you can see that PhotoForge is no longer in my top 10 there. It basically is using nothing now other than the app size. And the iCloud, if I jump back to my iPhone, you can see it still shows up as 2.3 gig there. This won't change until your iPhone has backed up to the iCloud once again, and sometimes it takes a few days for that to happen. I'll now jump into just getting images off your iPhone itself using image capture, which is in the applications folder. Here you might have to click this little button in the corner, but when you delete photos or import photos, you can have it delete after the import or just directly delete by clicking the little red delete icon down at the bottom. If you do select all, you can either click the little red delete, or you can do import all and delete while importing. Always make sure you have a backup of anything, or you've imported it before you go and just start clicking delete randomly. But here you can see I import some of these to my desktop, and it'll, since I have delete after import checked, it will import to my desktop and vanish out of the listing there on the among all the photos. So you can see a couple of them vanish. That's about all I've got to show today. Photos take up a lot of space. The apps take up space and they store photos in them. You might end up with a lot of versions of photos in the apps. And in your iCloud, you always have things. Be sure to drop by my blog at iOSphotoapps.com every chance you get.